So when you design a CMS, just in the interest of time, I think we're doing all right at the moment. Talk us through it. When making that choice between customized and generic, Nikolai, what does this process typically look like?
Well, you have to first create a mission statement, I would say. What is it that you're trying to achieve? To go back to your customer, you're going for Sigto. They try to achieve a compliance system that would be appreciated by their customers. Then the selection was easy. It's Sigto because that's a widely approved standard. But you have to define what is the purpose for you. What do you want to try to achieve? Which tasks are in the systems, who is going to assess, who is going to be mentors, who is going to be the targeted audience. You don't have to implement the system for all your ranks. You could do it for only your cadets. That's a quite typical starting point. Start with the cadets and ratings, mapping it out. So what is it that you're trying to achieve, the timelines that you set up? What are the tasks needed? You need to train your users. You need to, or your crew. You need to train the assessors so that they know how to act as an assessor. There is an IMO model course available for that. And then you start, once you have scoped out what is the requirements, what is it that you want to achieve, who are the actors in the system, then you start designing the competences, all of these guidelines, criteria that we looked what a proficiency is achieved by, and all of the what kind of activity type is it that it's checking out. Do you need onboard assessment? Does it need to be that all the time, or can it be achieved by time in rank? So it's a whole lot of different factors that you take into account, and then you do go into operational level, where you have the pre-designed system that you made, and you implement it, and then you start to assess competences across your fleet. You have it operational for a while, typically a year. Then you do some gap analysis. Where are we at the moment? Are we achieving the targets that we defined in scoping? Do we need to adapt? Do we need to adjust our system? Is it the right fit for us? You need to keep this alive. A competence system that's not alive is not optimum, because there are new challenges entering the market. We see new fuels arising. We see new needs for new competences. What is happening with my fleet? What kind of vessels do I have? What is the equipment on board? Am I covering it correctly? It's a continuous process.
Yeah, I think the implementation one as well. I think that's that you can actually use the competency management system and the learning platform to actually help you with the implementation as well. So you mentioned there, for example, one of the key things in here is the onboard trainer and assessor. That's a really important role. So we have e-learning resources for that. So you might put that out as a starting point on there. You might want to put a small competency management folder, as you put it, in place, which takes people through the whys and the wherefores of what it is they're trying to achieve. And then before you start going live with your competency management system, everyone knows why you're doing it, what you're doing it. That whole sort of change management piece can be taken care of as well. So it's a symbiotic thing with the sort of learning strategy more broadly.
Yeah, I'll just pick up on that. Sorry, Nikolai, interrupting there. But that whole idea of having a clear purpose is so important, because otherwise the people on board think, oh, here we go, it's another thing that's been imposed from shore. Those people don't know what we do, that we've got enough to do already. Why are we having to do this? I know my people. I know whether they go or not. And so it's really important that when you do design the system, that you do sell the benefits and you do sell that process, because otherwise, it just turns into another job. It doesn't get the buy-in. It's not being completed properly. People aren't really seeing the value, and it's as much a sort of part of the process that you have to think about is encouraging and persuading people that it really is a valuable tool for them, because all the while they're not using it, they can just see it as another job. Once they start using it, they want to actually feel that, I can see the benefits. I can see how this is improving situation on board. And that encourages them to carry on and to keep using it.
But this is a key thing as well. I think, though, that the CMS actually has the answer to its own problem there, because I gave the example of Sigto and I mentioned sort of charterage requirements, but equally the customer was keen to actually use this as a way of showing their investment in their people, to actually demonstrate to the people that they were building their careers and their strengths and their proficiencies. And that's one of the things that the Sigto standard does. It makes it very clear there are different pathways, from a rank perspective. So people can see that what they're doing is not only aligned to achieving company objectives, it's also aligned to building them up as a professional and helping them to progress. So in a sense, it's a sort of virtuous circle, I think.